Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Tracey Adams, and welcome to this week's vlog. We're going to be talking about finding the purple. And what do I mean by that? Finding the purple. I've been in the process of writing this book about emotional intelligence for women leaders, women in leadership roles. And part of that journey is really finding my voice and finding my conviction about certain things. And I had an instance this past week, where I was talking to someone that I've known for a very long time. I know this person through my spiritual community. We don't really talk politics that often, actually, never that I can think of. We've been friends for over 15 years, and we haven't really talked too much about the political, discourse that's happening. And of course, this time of year is during an election year, it's something definitely to talk about. And our emotional intelligence is very much strained in the polarity that's going on right now in our country, in the American consciousness. And so I had a conversation with her this week, and I was talking about something that was really upsetting to me, about something that was said, and she sided with the person who said it. Like she was able to give her point of view and her conviction about something that really, in my mind in the moment, really surprised me, because I didn't think she had that notion, or she was on that side of politics. And certainly I can look back now and I can just see some of the shaping in her thinking. And one of the reasons I love connecting with her is because she has a different way of looking at the world. But I found myself in that conversation really hijacked. Like in that moment, I wasn't getting this empathy that I wanted. I wasn't getting, because I was really upset about something and I was just getting it up and out. And she wasn't having it. Like she didn't see what I saw or feel what I felt. And when she expressed her view, I got so emotionally hijacked. I got so hijacked. And what I know about emotional intelligence is that when it's hysterical, it's historical. Meaning the deeper and more profound the emotion, the more it has to do with my past. It has to do with a brain connection that I've had before. And I got so hijacked in that call, I just wanted to hang up. And, part of my teaching in EQ is to set emotional boundaries. And so normally when you're talking and you get hijacked, it's okay for you to say, in this moment, I don't think I can continue this conversation because I'm feeling really emotionally triggered. And I don't want to come across as hurtful or angry, but I'm just flooded right now. Like my brain is just flooded. And so I said that to her, and her response was not what I expected. Her response was, I feel like you're diminishing and discounting me when I'm bringing up my side. Like in that boundary, Tracey, I feel like, I'm not able to be heard for what I believe about this situation. And my community has been doing that a lot to me, because it feels like I'm the only person in my community that feels this way. And I teach a tool in emotional intelligence called the self-disclosure funnel. It is such a brilliant tool, and it helps me so much to navigate conversations. And it goes like this. It's a funnel with the light green up at the top and the dark green at the bottom. And the light green is where you take a conversation that's light and polite. You talk about the weather, you talk about what you did over the weekend, what dinner you had. It's very emotionally neutral. And as you go down the funnel, the green gets darker and darker and darker until you get to the bottom, and it's really, really dark green. And that's where you're talking about feelings, vulnerability, it's emotional exposure. It's truly those intimate conversations that you have with maybe your spouse, your partner, your loved one, your best friend. Very rarely do we start intimate conversations in the dark green, although probably a lot of you have friends that you can go green right away. Well, her and I were in the green, and it was the heat. I talk about that dark green is like, it's hot in the kitchen. It can get really hot in the kitchen when you're both in that dark green. And I noticed myself as she was saying to me, you're discounting me. She was being emotional. She was exposing herself emotionally, even though I couldn't take the heat in the kitchen and I needed to get out. And so I found myself walking back up that funnel to the light green, like slow by slow. I said, well, I can see your point, and well, I understand that. Let's just agree to disagree. And we never really talked about politics, and I walked us both up that funnel till we were both in that light green, and the emotion was decreased, like the emotional intensity had decreased, and we could get off the phone. But I was so upset still, even after I got off the phone. I processed it a little bit. I did a little quick meditation. And then about 20 minutes later, she called back and she said, Tracey, I don't like the way that conversation ended and I want to go back. And she started walking me back down into the dark green. And in that dark green space, again, I was able to say to her, do you know, I love you more than my disdain of this issue. I love you more than my hatred for this particular candidate. I love you more than this conversation hijacked me. And I really meant it. And she got teary and I got teary. And that, my friends, is how you find the purple. Like I've been talking about the green, but we found the purple. One person was red, one person was blue in that conversation, but we found the purple and we found our connection by going deeper and hanging on and what I guess I could call it, don't leave the kitchen when it's too hot. Like really, it was just, I was so proud. I was so proud of ourselves. And that is the marker of emotional intelligence. I find that I just want to unfriend people who don't think like me. I want to just surround myself with people who think like me. And although I do believe that we do attract people who have our own values, there's something in this friendship with this person that brings me such joy. And her perspective on things has transformed my life over the last 15 years. And I certainly don't want to end the relationship just because of narratives that are going on that may not even be true, by the way, narratives that are going around in our discourse. So with that, as we practice together, creating safe places for each other and holding the container a little bit wider for people who might think differently, I honor our journey together, my friends. It's not easy, but it's worth it. So with that, have a great week and I'll see you next time.